Whoa.
Hello?
Oh.
Whoa.
Hello?
Jordan
Hello?
looks different today.
Jordan looks very different today.
Hello?
How's it going?
This is Baby Jabe.
Baby Jabe.
Baby Jabe.
It's my alter ego. And I'm in Jordan's spot.
Lumberjack Tim. T-Schmidt. Paint Licker. What's going on? Hello, nerds.
It's the cap. It makes such a difference.
No, here, I'll put it backwards so my face doesn't get all shadowed out.
Somebody let him out of the production seat. This could go either way. The jury's out on today's show, gang. Don't worry, it's only a 2-hour show.
True.
So in the grand scheme of things,
True.
the amount of pain we can cause is minimal.
It's an experiment.
Is minimal.
I don't know. 2 hours is enough time.
For a
I
lot.
think it's enough time.
You could start World War III in 2 hours.
We could. Yeah.
Sean
Thank
Jordan.
God we don't have the codes for that.
Jordan is already on his way. He is in the air right now.
Bakamaru!
Flapping his
For the
arms.
Twitch Prime. Thank you, thank you.
And Jason will be there in the morning, bright and early.
7
He's
o'clock.
flying overnight. Got the
Ew.
old red eye.
Yeah, ooh.
Ew.
My flight lands at 7 a.m. It leaves here at like 11:30.
Yeah.
Gross.
All because I have a 10-minute meeting at 3:40
Well,
this
we didn't know
afternoon.
that.
Ugh.
So.
Well, huzzah,
It'll be good.
huzzah.
You'll have a
I will
nice
throw
comfy
back my legs and
seat.
pollute my britches with delight.
Go to sleep. When you sit down on the plane, you'll wake up and you'll be there.
Source is like, I can mess stuff up in a lot less time than 2 hours. Me too.
Are you able to sleep on planes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Some people can't.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
I
That
can.
would be a bad choice to take a red eye if you can't sleep
Oh,
on a
yeah.
plane.
Yeah.
I will be dead before takeoff. There have been times where they've come by and they go, you know, like if you get a new flight attendant, they're like, you really need to listen to the safety instructions.
No.
And I'm like, I'll be asleep and will
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
No matter what happens to this plane,
I will be asleep while
I
the
am in
plane's
your
going.
hands.
Yeah.
You can come save me personally, or I'll just toss me out the window. Whatever. I'll land just in time for traffic when I get there. Oh, I know. My Uber ride's going to be tons of fun.
Oh.
Is it far? I don't know.
Oh.
Like 10 miles.
They said that I Googled it because there's 2 airports. And when I went to buy the tickets, I'm like, oh yeah, there's 2 airports. Which one? And they
Dulles.
said Reagan was closer to the hotel.
Oh.
So you're going to Reagan.
Huh?
You're going to Reagan.
I'm flying to Dulles.
No, you're not.
Okay. My ticket says Dulles.
Oh, all right.
I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah.
Reagan is definitely closer. Dulles is on the far west side.
Okay.
But my ticket says Dulles.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I guess I did it wrong then. Stony Yodelers, thank you for the Prime sub.
Yeah, Gabe is painting.
I mean,
You were sitting there when we talked about this.
It's a joke because
I mean, Phil-
I don't ever finish any of my stuff.
Oh. Neither does Jason, so it's okay.
Phil, this is Gabe we're talking about. Is he ever painting? He's messing around with paint. Let's define painting.
Jordan's
Painting.
left-handed, so.
It's not Baby J. No, Baby J is on an airplane. I can't read your name. Oh, that's Stony Idlers. Okay. Your name is too dark.
So Gabe has been doing a series of painting stuff with Jordan. And when I know they're in here together, I'll pay attention. And when they get done painting, you should see how Jordan looks when he gets out of the room of having painted with Gabe for like an hour.
Uh-oh.
It's tiring.
Very tiring.
I have lots of questions.
Gabe is a ball of energy.
He's Baby Jabe.
True. I'm Baby J, Baby J.
Baby Jabe. It's even hard for you to say.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy.
He's like,
Can
I've
I
grown
paint
up
plaid?
Gabe.
I don't know. Is my name Baby Jabe?
Baby Jabe. You get away for like 2 weeks and you guys change everything? Like, how do you mean?
Well, he said that's not Baby J.
No.
True.
That is still Jen, though.
Yeah.
I am still Jason.
Yeah.
Yep. That would be really crazy if you and I
This
switched
is
spots.
still the stream.
That'd
We
be
are
weird.
still Monument Hobbies. We're still in the same building. We've changed very little in 2 weeks.
Baka says, okay, but can this not Baby J paint plaid? Yes. He's going to paint that entire Dwarven Forge plaid.
Yep.
Yeah. all
Starting
plaid.
now. Go.
All plaid all the time.
All
Race,
plaid
go.
all the time.
Yep. Race, I go.
Except it's going to be gold on gold on gold plaid.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very hard to see
A lot of gold plaid.
the variations.
But it's there. Trust us.
it's there.
Hmm.
He's got the magic plaid brush.
Yep. What
It's a
model is that?
prototype.
Stony Yodeler's the Gen Cam is new to you too. We've had the production cam for a while now, but sometimes we don't have an actual producer in the studio.
I've
Jen has been very
here-
consistent
Yep.
lately, though. So we are working hard to make sure that she can have time to be in here during the stream. It's a lot of fun. Yesterday we had Jordan painting, me sitting in the comfy chair, and Jen producing.
Well, and then I had to leave,
And Gabe.
and Gabe came
Produced.
here,
Mhm.
and I sat in the comfy chair.
And then Jen came back to the comfy
And
chair.
then
So you
Jacob-
never know what you're going to get.
and
It's
then
basically
Jacob
a grab
came
bag of
in.
entertainment.
Jacob came in and was disappointed that there wasn't a comfy chair, but he went
took my place.
to Jason's spot at the desk.
I think he licked all my models because
yeah,
they smell
he
funny.
definitely did not paint, but he was here.
Hey, Phil, can you ask Jacob if he licked all my models? Because they're a little slimy and they smell funny.
He has said yes. How would you feel about that?
The Magic Plaid paintbrush is coming in 2089.
That gives me plenty of time to not be here anymore.
He said he didn't lick them.
I didn't lick them.
In
Oh. Oh.
No one in this room is going to click that link, Zeno. Sorry.
Nope. Do they smell like spying? That is kind of the smell of spying. Does spying have a smell? I'm confuzzled. This, my friend, Baby Jabe, is another model I am taking to Nova.
Another one?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah, well, this one came in the mail yesterday with a pile of bodies that isn't going to work for Percival.
Oh.
Oh.
So, yeah. Percival's poor pile of bodies is not at scale. But I messaged the printer and said, hey, are you allowed to, through your license, because all these 3D printers just license these to print. They don't make them. And I asked them, are you licensed to scale it up to 1.5 or 2 times the scale? We'll see what they come back with. If not, I know where to go buy the STL, and we'll just go buy the STL and give it to Brennan and say, Brennan, I need this at 2x. So it's just going to take a while for Percival's true form to happen. But this is a neat one. I really like kind of odd, you know, it has a Guillermo del Toro kind of feel, right? Very Pan's Labyrinth almost.
A lot of extra arms.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, like, how many extra arms is too many, do you think? Like, when do arms become non-serviceable? Like, you have to really figure out, like, you know, where the hell am I going to put these kind of thing, you know? Is there a number? Like, if you had 8 appendages, 2 legs and 6 arms like she does, is that too many? Or could you think of enough to do with the other sets of arms that they would never be a problem?
I mean, you'd adapt, I'm sure, as people do.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could figure out something to do with an extra set of arms, but 2 extra sets of arms might be much.
Might be a little overkill.
I don't know.
2 extra set of arms?
Yeah, like her. Like, what are you going to do with all that?
Wad Tomato
all those
wants to
arms?
know if you're also going to paint 3/4 of it before getting to Nova.
So my other model, I just primed because I'm a
No.
good person.
Jordan, yesterday, was painting all the skin on that model.
His model was like done.
I know.
Like, by the time he's at Nova, he won't have anything to
He's not
paint,
gonna have anything to do.
right?
Think of how fast you could load the dishwasher or unload the dishwasher if you had 6 arms. I mean, that's really, yeah, you start thinking about all the extra chores that you could get done much
Could you, though?
quicker.
Okay, so here's how my brain works after hours. I went down a rabbit hole of like psychological, maybe not psychology, like psychology study videos last night. where they were talking at length about the ability for humans to actually multitask.
Mm-hmm.
And that there have been a tremendous amount of studies that show that people who think they multitask very well actually don't multitask at all.
What about those of us who say, I can't multitask, give me only one thing at a time?
Right. And that's what they are
That I'm just more self-aware. I'm not the opposite. The opposite is not true.
No.
Yeah.
I think that the truth of the matter is that there is no such thing as human multitasking.
Yeah.
Is that what you do is, and they had a name for it. There's in psychology, there's a name for it, or in the sciences, there's a name for it, where you have basically learned to defocus yourself at a very quick pace so that you can focus, defocus, and refocus. But what they've also proven is that there's an inability for you to do the same quality work across the breadth of things you're doing. So it's like we always say, it's like you can do 100 things 1%
Right.
of the way done, or you can do one thing 100% of the way.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the whole thing was about.
Yeah.
But I found it very intriguing because I tend to find like I think about what is my limit. But with the multiple arms thing, it's like, how much could you really benefit from multiple arms?
Yeah.
I mean, I could feel like I could hold stuff in my extra arms.
Yes.
And then do whatever I was doing here.
Right.
And then stop and take a drink, but keep my stuff in my hands.
Yeah.
So that might be cool.
Yeah.
Right? So like while I'm eating, that would be really bad. Because you could be watching TikTok and feeding yourself.
Yeah.
But with like swiping and then a fork just kind of comes out and feeds yourself.
I
Kind
don't
of weird.
like it.
Kind of weird.
The gladiator has a good point though, and this I think it would be handy, is dusting. Because lifting stuff and
Lots of
dusting
surfaces?
underneath. Yeah, like you could lift things up with hands, and
Or
then you still
vacuuming.
have two hands.
You know, you can move a chair while you.
So I
Yeah,
still ask the
exactly.
question, is the human brain capable of hand-eye coordination across that many
but
hands?
it's still yes, because you we would have adapted if six
Okay.
arms is a common thing.
Okay.
Then we would have adapted.
Okay.
To
I'll
know.
give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. You wouldn't, like, they would be vestigial appendages
But if you could
if
just
your brain
go
couldn't
out
keep up,
and
is
get
what you're saying.
a surgery to say, you know what, I need to add a couple extra arms, make that happen, it would be hard because your whole life you've only had two.
Yeah, your brain wouldn't adapt.
Yeah, exactly. It would take longer. Carrying a lot of groceries, that's true. You'd only have one trip.
I don't know. I'm a pretty good multitasker.
Are you?
No, you're not.
I'm pretty good at
Not at all.
carrying
Not at all.
multiple grocery bags into the house all at one time so
Oh,
that
yeah.
I don't have to make more than one trip.
I do that with two hands, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying, is that I do that with two hands.
Now, what if you had two brains?
Oh, wait a
That's
minute.
too
Now we're
much.
just getting nuts. This is a realistic conversation, Gabe.
About having 6 arms?
Yes.
Yep.
Having two brains,
That's fair.
totally out the door. You take your fantasy elsewhere, buddy. This fantastical science fiction nonsense. I'm talking about having 6 arms. Totally
you might
achievable.
be able to get tasks done quicker if you like we're saying, it's one, you focus on one thing, you've got 6 arms to do it, you get it done quick, and then you move on to something else. So
As
that
long
could
as-
be
yeah,
the
as long as
benefit.
your brain can
but
process
trying
those
to
6
do too
appendages.
much at one time, it makes my brain hurt just thinking about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
But imagine how much stuff you'd get done.
No.
I wouldn't. I am the
Hey,
worst
somebody likes us.
multitasker. I can't even look at my phone and watch TV at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens.
I'm over there going, did you hear that?
I
She's like,
pick
what?
up as soon as a commercial comes on. I pick up my phone and I start scrolling on Instagram. And Jason will be like, "Did they just say that?" And I'm like, "I couldn't tell you what they said because I wasn't looking at my phone."
That
I
commercial
was-
just said you could have 2 brains.
Yeah,
She's like, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it. I was busy using the only one I've got now to look at
I'm
trash
using-
on the internet.
I'm using 100% of the only one I have to look at this TikTok
to
video.
look at nonsense on the internet.
I'm using it, my full brain capacity to watch a 60-second short
Yes.
video.
This idiot.
And I do.
I spend so
This
much time on
idiot influencer.
doom scrolling.
They call it doom scrolling now.
Yeah. Where you're just there and you just keep scrolling.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh. I've been here for an hour. It's more like 3 though. Been there for like 3 hours.
I just love that we're breeding an entire generation who, when you ask them what they want to do when they grow up, is they say be an influencer. It's like when everybody's an influencer, who are you influencing?
Nobody's exactly. Exactly.
When everybody's a hero, there are no heroes. All you've done is succeed in eliminating the true definition of hero.
Rancid Vomit, hello, and Relics Aces 777. Thank
What
you
is going
for
on,
that
everybody?
follow.
Baristas multitask. They only have 2 hands.
Do they though?
No, they just think about one thing at a time and do a lot of things in a row.
Yeah, they do a lot.
That's what that whole video was about, is that there is no, in the human brain, they have yet to find any true multitasking,
Yeah.
which is parallel operations.
Yeah.
They have serial operations that can leapfrog over one another, and you get people that get really good at doing that. But the whole point of the conversation was that let's strip back the fact that there is no true multitasking by the terminology, the way we're using it.
Yeah.
Not in a normal situation. There may be aberrations out there, and people, they have savants that have other motor deficiencies and stuff, but they found that they can process multiple things simultaneously, but they can't operate in what we would call a normal
Right.
manner.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how, as you do things serially and you leapfrog the ability to, like a barista, to pay attention here, and wind up with a thing or multiple things completed. They were saying that if you focus through one thing all the way to its completion, that at the end of your entire task, everything would have been done better, right?
Well-
Rather than defocusing and saying, I have 4 orders I'm trying to match at the
Yeah.
same time. That's why we see so much pressure on people
Well,
right
but
now.
so here's the thing, though. I was at Starbucks today and watching this whole phenomenon that we're discussing right now. And they don't multitask at Starbucks. They are one-task people.
Yeah.
Because there are so many of them behind the bar. And so I'm watching this morning as I'm waiting because they're behind. And I had done a mobile order. So I'm standing there just waiting for them to finish my drink. And there are people, like the girl who makes the Frappuccinos, she didn't have any tickets. So she was just standing there.
Oh,
Which
because
is
there were no
incredibly
Frappuccinos.
frustrating because there were no Frappuccinos to be made. So she's just standing there. I'm like, wow, it would be really cool if she could help the girl who's making the main drinks out of the espresso machine. If they could, she could jump in and help a little bit, because that poor girl is behind and she's got tickets coming out of the thing and she keeps slapping them up onto the thing in front of her face, and she's like trying to focus on one at a time. And the best part of this whole thing was that girl, and she was she had a drink in her hand and she's looking at it, and she makes the drink, she looks at the ticket, reads the name, sets it down, moves on to the next one. You could see that she was struggling with the name on one of them because she held it up like she was going to say the name, and she went, oh. And she got this look on her face. She's like, Monaque?
Monique?
It was Monique.
Oh no!
I'm like, oh, Monaque.
How did you
Monaque.
do that wrong?
It was like that Key and Peele thing.
Monique's a tough name if you've never seen it before.
If you've never seen it before, exactly. But it was just, all I could think about was Balake.
Yeah. Balake?
Yeah.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Balake?
I was not waiting on a pumpkin spice latte because those are disgusting.
Facts.
Not
They're not good.
a fan of really any. Well, I like pumpkin baked goods. That's all, but not pie.
My
Pumpkin
mom
bread,
makes a like
Pumpkin
pumpkin
muffins.
roll.
Pumpkin roll with
Oh
the
my gosh,
cream cheese.
Yes,
Yes, those are fantastic.
So good. She used to make a red velvet one too.
Oh, so good.
The best.
I'm not yucking anyone's yum. You do you. I don't like it, and I don't want to be part of that stereotype of the white girl with the pumpkin spice latte.
Today is What
It
If
is not
Wednesday.
me.
She did drive a Jetta for a bunch of years, though.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? It's a great car.
And if you listen to her mixtape, you would think she liked pumpkin spice.
Those pumpkin spice girls don't know half of the music on my mixtape.
I was waiting to see where that one would go.
Siobhan, I'm not on Discord right at the moment, but I will when I get back to my desk. Do you want to tell us what the dog had today? What kind of gourmet? I will interject that I have not eaten anything yet today, so
So
the
no
dog
matter
is
what, his
already
dog is
doing
eating better
better
than
than
we
me.
have, because I just had my first, which was chili cheese Fritos.
yes, chili cheese Fritos he was eating when I
I had a
came in
hot
here.
pocket. Hot pocket.
Hot Pockets get a lot of mileage around here. We should see if they'll sponsor Monument Hobbies.
Yeah. Hot pockets and Jimmy Dean breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
I'm down for the Jimmy Deans. The Hot
Steak.
Pockets not so much, but Desperation breeds odd bedfellows.
The dog had steak fajitas with fresh tomatoes and lettuce that were harvested from Siobhan's personal vegetable garden. Yep. But I don't like fajitas, so the dog can have that one.
Hey, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
He doesn't feed me because I'm a grown person and I can feed myself. I do take care of my own needs like that as much as possible.
Has anybody seen this crazy music video called Hi Ren?
What?
No.
It's a song called?
I'm Ren. Hey Ren. The guy who has written a song about his alleged schizophrenic nature. Says he's always been schizophrenic, so he's learned to adapt to it and use it to his benefit, and so he's a musician, and he wrote a song where he focused on it, and obviously he's not having multiple personality episodes during the song, but he's acting like he is, right?
Mm.
And which Eminem has done and other people have done, but it's a very interesting song, and he's a good musician.
Where did you find this? Was this
It's
one of your
just on YouTube?
YouTube? Yeah.
If you YouTube search for Hi Ren, just Hiren, Hi Ren,
Hi.
like
Ren.
hello,
Like
Hi Ren. His name is Ren.
Oh, his name's Ren. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. He's in a straitjacket, playing a little acoustic guitar. Or
Wait,
an
he's in a
electric
straight.
acoustic.
How is he in a straight jacket playing a guitar?
Well, they bring him in, or he walks in and sits down in a room, and the arms are not
No.
obviously tied.
Okay.
It'd be kind of cool though if he was playing the guitar with the real.
Interesting idea. If you're a fan of listening and finding new music, it's interesting. It's not my kind of music. It's not something I would go out and like listen to a bunch of what he does. But it was an interesting journey. It's like 9 minutes long. It's like this big
wow.
expose, and at the end of it, he talks about why he wrote it and all that. So if he's sincere and it's all true, it's a very neat journey. It's something that I can see being very interesting to find out more about this person because it's.
So as more of a novice painter, one thing that I have been really appreciating lately is using larger brushes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I was like, I'm so scared to use a large brush because I
Yep.
could do so much damage, but it makes life so much easier.
Yep.
And you'd be surprised at how easy it is to control it.
Well, it's something you got to get used to, Like, there were some streamers in our early day of streaming that used, like, size 3s and 4s for a lot of stuff and would preach using bigger brushes, but they would say, you should never use a small brush. And I was like, well, that's an oddity because when people start painting miniatures, the first instinct is to paint with a small brush because you're painting a small thing. So as a
was mine,
person
sure.
who may not be coming from a formal art background or anything like that, not knowing the function of a brush, so we would constantly show, I paint with a 1 and a 2 and a 00 and stuff like that to show people, the feasibility of how to paint and all that. But yeah, as you start getting comfortable with painting with a larger barreled brush is a good thing, but it's not comfortable for everybody.
No, it definitely still feels weird, but
I'm feeling. I feel really good with like the 2-4 range. That's where I usually
I went full
find
send and
myself.
picked up a 6 today.
6?
I'm going.
Just
I'm
go
also-
for it.
Well, you're painting a lot of open area
Yeah.
too, so
Big
that's
model.
going to do a lot of
Yeah.
work for you.
Yeah.
For sure.
But if I have like eyes, then I probably would use my 00. I only use the synthetics. But the smallest I would go is the 00, and that would just be for eyes probably.
Yeah.
I will say when I painted this, when I airbrushed this thing like a year ago, I'm now regretting doing it. I wish I did the other way around.
You didn't paint it with an airbrush,
I did.
and you're regretting it?
I'm regretting spraying the whole thing gold and now trying to fit my brush to paint this back part. But we will work around it.
So you don't want the back to be gold?
I don't want the back to be gold. I
It's
want
gonna be
kind of
something
this
different.
cool brick color.
Oh yeah, okay.
or not color. It's black, but I want like black brick.
That was a tough choice
Black.
when you base something in metallic, because metallic paint has such a different way of showing through as an undercoat.
Yeah.
And so as you try to put other paints over the top of it, depending on how you sprayed it, you can have texture,
Yep.
and you can get that weird shine. So you have to work a little bit harder to build your opacity up. So I typically, it's hard, right, though, because like a model like that has a lot of surface area that you want to be metallic.
Yeah.
So, I
Big old
always
forge.
teach, hey, look at your model. People ask where to start. It's like, look at your model. What is the bulk of the model? Is it armor?
Mm-hmm.
Then perhaps start with the metal color, Is it flesh? Start with the flesh color. Those are the simplistic ways to say it. Once you start, building more experience, you start looking at what's deeper on the model,
Mhm.
and you start there, even if
Right.
it's a smaller spot,
Yep.
because you don't want to have to risk messing up your paint job to go get deep areas, like painting a face inside a helmet. You might paint the armor first, but now the helmet's painted, and you got to dig your brush in there to paint the face. And when the face is prominent enough that you need to paint it well, and you've already painted the armor, it's like, oh. But then the opposite is true too. It's like if you paint the face, then how do you paint the armor, which is 80% of the model? You think Space Marine or Stormcast Eternal.
Yep.
So a lot of times you just say, okay, well, screw it, I'm painting the armor, and the face will just make do.
Yep. That's kind of what I'm running into right now. This got this lip kind of
yeah.
here, so I don't want to get on the side there.
Yep.
And kind of
Yep,
recess
yep.
there. Trying
Yeah,
to
it's
brush with this thing in here has
Yeah.
been a little.
Remember that
tedious.
you can allow washes to do a lot of that edge detail.
Right.
So you can have the gold and the color get close, not spend a ton of time making sure that your lines add up directly, paint, and then do like a heavy black wash where you don't dilute it much. Let it go in and blend those colors together in those crevices where they meet.
See,
So the
I'm
same
saving
thing with
time.
faces on the inside of hoods.
Yeah.
Same thing. Use the shade as a way to kind of blend tight areas where colors come together. And then you can build up your colors, your highlights away from it, because they generally work away from the meeting
Right.
of those colors. So
That is a game changer.
see, you keep
The
me around
gold,
for a reason,
though-
Jake.
That just saved me a lot of time.
Yeah.
Let me
The
tell you.
gold looks really, it really looks smooth and even.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hopefully that makes it a little easier to go over it.
Well, it was like I think I got my way back when I got my gold metallic, my first metallic set for Monument Pro Acryl, and then the airbrush. I was so stoked. It's like I could finally paint this thing. It's
Yeah.
gonna go on nice. So I just all the paints I'd used before separated so badly, and so I was very excited.
Paint roller for priming, like a big heavy nap paint roller.
Yeah.
It
You
is.
can't use one of the ones that has no hair on it. You got to use one of the ones that looks like somebody chopped their cat up and put it on a rolling pin.
Yes, bright gold. That's what I painted it in.
Bakamaru said currently struggling with an armature right now.
Nice.
I started with getting a good yellow gradient and highlight, then realized I have to still do all the metallics underneath.
Yep.
I was so excited to test the yellow, I didn't consider how that would make life hard to paint around.
Yeah.
Make it hard to paint around.
Excited to test the yellow, didn't consider how to make life hard to paint around. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because we're painting three-dimensional objects. It's a lot different when you're painting canvas. So a lot of painters that have been painting for years have a hard time transitioning to miniature because you have depth, right? Physical depth. You have layers of depth on a three-dimensional object, especially one that's as detailed as what we paint. And so you just start with the color you want to start with, yellow. You want to test your yellow scheme out on this Imperial Fist guy, and it's great. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh, there's a lot of crap in it amongst the yellow I just painted that I have to now go in. And back to the brush thing, now you go in and get like a size 0 brush to paint it with because you want to be real intricate with it, but it takes forever. Because a size 0 doesn't hold enough paint, doesn't have big enough bristles to do a lot of area. Plus you don't want to be moving fast in those things. So always a give and take. You have to figure out where your comfort zone is and the way you like to paint. I tend to go for the bigger areas. So I'm like you. I would paint the yellow armor and then just deal with the details afterward.
I think what I do, and I feel like I learned this from you, is that I do like all the base coats on the whole model first.
Yeah.
And then, like, if I want to work on the hair next, I would start the hair and maybe do another couple layers, but I wouldn't go all the way on the hair.
Right.
That I would have to then do the skin, and I kind of would go back and forth and balance it to make sure everything is
Right.
like
Yeah, and that's one of the
matching.
things that teaches you how important that is. I always say make sure that you have brought all of the model ready to be finished before finishing in any one part.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes along these lines. If you do that yellow armor and you get it all the way to highlights and shade and the whole nine, and it's perfect, but you have to go paint a bunch of things around it, you're going to wind up having to fix it. And that can be frustrating. It can kind of yuck your yum, as people are talking about here. It can be like, I don't really want to paint this now. But if you were to base coat, you know, like your brown or your orange or your pink or whatever you decided to use for your yellow, you base coat that all over the armor where it's supposed to go. Maybe you do then one more color over the top of that. Then you go base coat everything next to it. Number one, it solves a lot of the problem of being wary of putting paint on the model, because now if you get a little outside of the lines, you know you're going back with other colors that will fix it, and you start working away from where the colors meet, like I just said to Gabe, whether through washes or normal coloring, and eventually your everything you're painting is kind of in its own little pocket and away from everything else. The other thing that it does is it allows you to see how your colors work together on the model in a more ready manner without it having to be done. You see earlier in the model whether or not that choice of yellow you've picked works good with that choice of silver you're doing, or that brown you want to use. Does it look too samey? And you're not done with something and not fully invested in any one color if you constantly just do, I'm going to do highlights on the armor, then I'm going to go do highlights on the leather and highlights on this and highlights on this. And you're like, okay, now I get how it's all looking. And then now I'm going to shade the armor and shade this and shade that. And all of the pieces come up together in balance so that you get to make better decisions throughout the painting process. You'll see fantastic painters who will start and just paint the leg and just finish the leg, you know, or finish the helmet on a model without painting anything else. Those people already have the vision and know exactly where they're going. They've been on this journey enough times that they know exactly how to manage it. And when they get to the end, if they have to adjust it, they feel very comfortable going back and adjusting to making all the parts come together. Most people aren't there yet. 99.9% of the painters on the planet aren't there yet. And so in order to avoid that hassle of getting to the end game and being like, something doesn't look right, you know, the color that I put on for the armor is way too bright for the colors I've done here, I got to go fix all that. Just paint small amounts of your color every time. Paint a base coat on everything like Jen said, then do a mid-tone on all of the model parts together, then so on and so forth. So you'll see me, like when I'm working, you'll find models that have, you know, the Rhino is a good example. You know, the Rhino, I just kind of put base coats and mid-tones on everything, and then you saw me go back and start working on the highlights on the solar panels and the metal here and the metal here and the metal on the greaves. And, you know, every now and then I get distracted and do like the wash on the blades on the wristbands and stuff, but I haven't highlighted the skin yet, you know, so I'm still wandering around finding what color balance makes sense on a model like this based on its parts and how I want it to look at the end of the day. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't have to finish a part of the model, but I know people that love to do that, so. We're going to do some zenithal here, just so I can discern details. I'm going to have these sitting on the desk at Nova, so if I'm not putting paint on them, it's nice to be able to allow people to kind of get a feel for what's going on, and a nice, quick zenithal pass gives me that.
Abe, is that primer or is it?
Just primer, just white primer.
No.
Oh, what I'm painting?
Oh.
Yeah.
No, this is
Black.
This is coal black.
Coal black.
Yep. Coal black. Especially against the gold, it is a nice dark color.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. Some grays over it. Woo! It's gonna be good. I'm excited.
All these dark blue names I can't read. Bobson Dugnut. Hello. That I think the 6 that came with the Sam Lens weapon rack is my new favorite brush. It's a good one.
It is a good brush.
And then Nutrimentia said, which one? Because there are 2. And it's the left
the one on the left.
The left one
That's what they said, yeah.
is the answer.
Always, if you have a choice, it's the one on the left. Not that I'm biased or anything, I'm just saying.
Growing up, going to amusement parks, that was always the thing. Was if it's split, you had to pick which side. You always pick the left side. It'll go faster.
Yeah?
It goes faster.
Is that a fact? Researched?
Yep. My hours and hours of research, standing in lines. Do you know what that model's from, or is it just a cool?
You know, I was thinking about it earlier. People were going to ask me, and I'm like, this is the problem with 3D printing is it's from some 3D printer on Etsy.
Great.
The people who sculpt models don't understand how bad they have it because I don't know. Like it's from, Dragonstone 3D printing, who doesn't do anything other than print the model. I don't know.
It's from Dragonstone 3D printing.
Yeah.
Where it's from.
Yeah, I don't know. That's not actually the name of the company I even bought it from. I know that there are some 3D sculpting places out there who have stopped doing retailer tiers on their Patreon for that exact reason. Because they learned that nobody knew who the model was from. The people always associated it with the person that owned the 3D printer.
Oh.
Rather than who sculpted it.
Oh.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. Because I don't know. Like I couldn't whoever I saw, I'm very sorry to the artist that sculpted this because it's a fantastic sculpt. Right? Really neat model. I couldn't tell you who the hell it's from because I just bought it on Etsy from somebody that probably didn't name who it was from. I think they're supposed to, but it's not in a way that I would notice it. And it's sold by somebody, and I'm always looking at who I'm purchasing from. I know if I'm buying Nike from the shoe store that isn't a Nike store because it's a brand that I was seeking. These aren't brands I'm seeking. These are just cool models I find. So I don't know who made these.
Yeah. Bummer. I always thought it'd be fun to learn how to do sculpting.
Yeah, it's neat. Very time consuming. As anything that you want to do as a tradesman, so to speak.
Bizarre Rolled said, I'm finally moving away from Citadel pots and only the colors I need for an army to a complete set of Prochrome.
Oh, wow.
Now
Heck
I
yeah.
have to decide how to paint this demon prince.
Ooh. What color do you want the demon prints? Is that part of it? Is that part of the question?
I mean, there's really not a question in there, but I'm going to infer that it is a question.
Of
That
what
we're
color you
looking
should do it?
for
Hot
input.
pink and plaid.
Yeah, don't listen to
Hot pink and
Tim.
plaid. Yeah, don't listen
Or
to
Paint Liquor.
Don't listen to anyone.
Or pretty much anybody in chat.
Don't listen to anyone who says hot pink or plaid.
I feel like listening to chat is the downfall of opportunity. Because
Said-
you will always be bummed out.
Said I have Black Legion and World Eaters, but I'm open to ideas.
It's one of the new demon princes. Just build it like a corn demon prince.
Uh-oh, don't talk to Gabe either.
Because they're dope.
Gabe's going to tell you to paint it red.
Paint it red. Make it red.
Gabe has an army that has, I don't know, how many bloodthirsters in it?
4.
4. There you go. That's Gabe for you.
4
Want to play
bloodthirsters.
Chaos? One answer.
Yes.
Skulls for the Skull Throne.
Yes.
Blood for the Blood God. Red. I mean, my preference when painting demons is human skin tones. With odd shadow colors.
So creepy.
Because it is the uncanny valley instantaneously, right?
So creepy.
Because you don't want to see things like that be something you recognize but are so unrecognizable.
I feel like blood letters would be just really weird in a skin tone.
Well, the way that I like to vision it is there was a person that did on the internet did the Great Clean one.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
It was the Great Unclean One model, but they did it as the Great Clean One, and it was just this.
Was he wearing like a suit?
No, he was just, it's a model like this. It's just a big bloated torso with gunk coming out of it. They shaved it all clean. It looked like Buddha. It was smooth skin everywhere. It didn't have any pustules or eyes or anything.
Oh, that's
but he's
funny.
just sitting there, and it was very disconcerting. It was like I would rather look at the one with the pus and the eyeballs and
It's
the tentacles.
like the people Photoshop celebrities with no eyebrows.
Yeah,
It's so
like that, like the
weird.
alopecia kind of
Like
thing.
it looks right but wrong.
Right. But
Yeah, it was very strange.
maybe we Photoshop a picture of Jason with no eyebrows.
Go for it. There was once where I said with enough donations on stream, I'd do the no eyebrows thing, but Jen wouldn't let me.
No. We shaved your entire head, so
You can
that was
get
enough.
you can get stick-ons. Stick on some eyebrows.
No, you know why? Because with my luck, for me, if I shaved my eyebrows, they would not grow back, and I'd have to be sticking them on forever. And, once you get to be an old person, hair doesn't grow as fast. Maybe your eyebrows won't grow back. That's my fear. And there's no
That'd be a funny
need
prank.
to shave off your eyebrows, so don't do it.
I'm with Jen. I feel like there's certain times where your body's gonna laugh at you.
Yep.
And cause things to happen that you're really sad about.
Exactly.
Like, oh, you decided to shave your head completely bald with a Bic razor.
Yeah.
Watch what we don't do next.
Exactly.
You
Grow
don't get
it
it back.
Yeah.
You didn't respect it enough.
Right.
You're lost.
Oh my gosh, I do not want tattooed eyebrows.
No, my God, I see these women on the internet, and I'm like, what in the world
Absolutely
possessed
not.
you to have this? You want to talk about uncanny valley? That nails it. That, and I cannot get over people shooting Botox into their head so that their eyebrows don't move when
Yeah,
they talk, and
yeah.
they're expressionless in this weird robotic way. I hate it.
Blowing up their
hate
lips.
it, hate it.
It looks like someone punched them in the mouth.
If you're a human with no wrinkles on your forehead and you're over like 18 years old, I don't trust you.
Yeah. We were talking about that, my friends and I were talking about that the other day, that because one of them was like, what is this filter that people put on their photos and videos that makes them look like so smooth?
Yeah.
And she's like, I
Botox.
mean, I know that, like, huh?
It's Botox.
Yeah. No, there are
collagen
filters. So like
Called college.
on TikTok, I don't believe that that's what anybody looks like on TikTok.
There's
Because there are
people that I
so
see the
many
videos where they have
filters.
the half one and they move from side to side and
Yes.
show what they really look like.
Because there's so many filters that
Yeah.
you just that's like
Somebody-
everything is filtered.
Somebody told me that there was one of those apps that banned filters, that you couldn't have filtered photos on it. It might have been a dating app
That would
because
be
of the
nice.
catfishing part of it.
Yeah.
This was probably over a year ago.
That would be nice.
But they said that, yeah, they were banning photos that
Yeah.
were filtered. I don't know how you know.
But anyway, so we were talking about it, and we're like, yeah, everything's filtered. Nobody can accept it. And Christine said, I do have, when I'm on Zoom, I have something that just makes me feel a little better about myself. And then Danielle said, well, I need to know what that is. And I said, you guys don't need filters. You're beautiful as you are. I said, I don't even care anymore. Like, I don't wear makeup. Like, this is just what I look like. And if someone has a problem with it,
This
that's
is why
their
I
problem.
love you so much. You are great
Like-
just the way you
Like,
are.
that's
You don't
their
need
problem.
filters.
That is not my problem.
Jen gets ready real fast.
Like,
That's
this
the
is
upside
me.
for me.
This is what I look like. I can't help it. I'm not putting any needles in my face.
My wife doesn't wear a lot of
Love it.
makeup, which is great
Yeah.
because it doesn't take long for get ready.
Yeah.
I prefer.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
She
it's
doesn't wear a
so
lot of
great
makeup.
when we're going out. She's like, I just got to put my shoes on,
Yeah.
or we get home from work and she'll go in and change clothes and she'll touch up her makeup
I'll
that
put-
she does. A little bit of eye.
Yeah, I do a little mascara. I do moisturizers because my skin's dry. That's
But-
it.
There is no time where Jen's like, give me an hour.
Yeah.
Ugh.
If
I
Jen says
used to
give me
be
an
that
hour,
way.
we're at a Halloween party or something,
You're going to like.
and it's
Oh.
taking me an hour too because we're both like overdoing it.
Yeah. I used to be a full-on get ready every day, full makeup, hair, everything. But
Times change.
times have changed.
Time change. People change. Ain't nobody got time for that.
One thing my wife does do though is she will change her outfit 4 or 5 times
Oh. You gotta feel good all the way.
and then throw them in the dirty laundry bin.
Oh.
It drives me insane. Drives me wild.
She washes a lot of clean clothes.
Washes a lot of clean clothes.
Gladiator, what did I say? I'm just being me. I wasn't trying. I'm sorry I made you drop your brush. What did I do? Broken Chef, what's going on? Welcome, everybody. Hello, if we missed you, jumping into chat, welcome back.
Watamaton said, I'm putting tons of needles in my face, but that's just because I take my pinhead cosplay very seriously.
Yes, there you go. Or you're like the guy at the circus that does the nails in the nose. You know what? As a kid, I saw that, and I have a picture it's that weird green matting
somebody
around the
likes
3
us.
circus people.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them's the fire eater, the sword swallower, and the other guy's the guy that nails into his face. And when I was younger, I saw that happen on a movie called Freaks. It's an old black and white movie about circus people.
Okay.
And weird movie. And I saw Freaks as a kid, and I was like, how do they pound nails into their head? And so before Google, went and looked at books of anatomy and how the nasal cavities work. And you always think it goes straight up. It doesn't. It goes back into your head. Mm-hmm. And they just pound the nail right into their sinus cavity and everything.
No thanks.
Oh my gosh.
I have to admit, I took a nail and I kind of wallowed it into my nose to see how far it could go. It hurts real quick. I think they have to train themselves and get their cavities. It's like a lot of work.
Well, yeah,
you can't just pick it up and say, look at me, I'm in the circus.
Think about this. Now,
not gonna end well.
we've now, like, so many more people have now had things shoved up their nose because of COVID tests that you get it. You get how it puts in there and you start to feel pressure. Like, okay, that's too far.
If you're over 18 and you don't have wrinkles on your forehead, I don't trust you. That's the truth. It's the truth. If you spend all your time worrying about whether or not your eyebrows move and your forehead is smooth, not for me.
Although T. Schmidt's talking about how, the gray hair and he's letting his hair go gray and he doesn't care.
Me too.
That is the one thing.
Me too.
But that's only because I really like having pink hair. So I need to keep coloring my hair.
Oh, you do color your hair. Yeah.
I do color my hair. That is the one thing.
I did the thing once where I did the beard dark.
Yeah.
Right? And while it is very, it has a huge visual impact.
Yeah.
In your aging, I don't care about my aging, and that was only because at the time I only had gray like from the end of my mustache through my beard on my chin, and the rest of it was still dark. So I just blended it so that my whole beard was dark. Once the whole beard went gray, it's like, screw it, I'm not bothering with that. I'm putting that stuff on my skin. It burned. It was horrible. Siobhan, Matt Hurt, thank you for the follow.
Siobhan, that's not Baby J, that's Baby Jabe.
It's Baby Jabe.
And yes, he is married.
I'm taken. Sorry.
Siobhan says, what if we're Asian and we don't get wrinkles until we're 70?
Well, then that's...
Not trustworthy. Not trustworthy. There is something wrong there. Something in the water, Siobhan.
Yikes.
I was going to say that's just not fair. Don't rub it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not trustworthy.
It's not fair.
This is why I told people on the Discord, don't listen to you. Wild color hair is different, and if I had a good reason for lime green hair, you'd go for it. T. Schmidt yellow.
Yeah, you do. That's your excuse right there. That's
Asian don't raisin is what Siobhan said.
Asian don't raisin.
Well, that's not true, but it is at a very old age. It seems like there's a switch that flips for people from Asia. Is at a certain time their skin just goes, like all the muscles
like
just are tired of being tight.
It gives up. It's like, I'm done.
I think it's when you find your zen. When you find your zen and you release all the stress, your skin just goes.
That makes sense.
Asian culture is very stressed.
Makes sense.
Very stressed. That's how your beard is going. You've got a skunk stripe right down the center front. I just had 2, right? But he's the most trustworthy person in the world. Just ask him. I just love that Siobhan this morning was like, you can trust me. I'm the most trustworthy person in the world. Yeah. And then he went on some rant about some sort of African frog that you could find out how people were pregnant.
Tony Boy, I'm not sure.
What's that?
Tony Boy said, where did you get that ring?
What ring are we talking about?
Me?
Gabe's ring? Like Gabe's wedding ring?
This one?
He got it from his wife, probably.
Yeah. She gifted it to me for Christmas one year. It's my ring. My wedding ring it's too big. Well, I got married and it's too big. And I was like, I'm going to be cool. I'm going to get plated copper because it's really cool. It makes your fingers green, but it's really cool. But the thing I found out about plated copper is that nobody will resize it for you.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all worried it's going to discolor.
Yeah.
And so they will not touch it. So I had to get I still have it.
Oh, so you have a copper ring is your actual wedding ring.
It's my actual wedding ring. And I have it stored.
Oh.
But then my wife got me this, which is cool.
Yeah, because if they have to fire it, it'll distort the color.
Yeah.
And then they have to, well, I mean, you can polish it out if you know what you're doing. So.
Yeah, every place, I took it to like 3 or 4 places and they're like,
take it to a metal worker.
Your stuff, by the way, I think is still in the fridge unless you got it.
What's that?
Your stuff that you had in the fridge, your metal stuff.
I didn't get it.
Okay. It's still in there.
Oh.
I was cleaning it and I cleaned around it.
Oh.
And I left it in there because I was like, I didn't know how long it could be out of the fridge. And
That's fine. You just take it over to the other place and put it in the fridge. I have to remember to go get it.
It's cool. I don't know where she got it. I think it was probably somewhere on Etsy. She likes to Hop on the Etsy, but it's meteorite and then gold and silver flakes.
Meteorite.
Yeah.
Moon rock.
Moon
Oh,
rocks.
what?
His wife got him a moon rock.
Sorry.
You know who had to get me a moon rock?
Ruben.
My thing used to be, if Jen was going anywhere, she would ask me, can I get you anything? And I said, $1 million in a moon rock. And I said that for 7 years, 6 years. Probably for 6 years of our relationship, I told her, didn't I? Every time.
Every time.
I'm like a broken record.
And
I
I
was
would
like
just
$1 million
laugh.
in a moon rock.
Okay.
And she would just be like, hey,
I'll do my best.
And I always, in the back, I was very lonely and crying because I never got either of those things. And then Ruben was here.
It was
Ruben.
not last Christmas, but the Christmas
It's like been 2
before.
years.
Yeah,
It's been
it
like
was
2 years ago.
21
21.
Christmas. Yeah.
Was it at the Christmas party?
21.
Oh,
Yep.
it was at the Christmas party.
Yep.
So at our company Christmas party 2 years ago, Ruben, all right, Ruben, who was our first employee, he's our chief of production here for paint production. And at our Christmas party, he hands me a gift, and I'm like, oh, wow, thanks, Ruben. And I open it up, and it's $1 million in a moon rock. He gave me I'm going to go get it, Dad.
So you know what you need to do?
Not listen to you anymore?
Well, you need to marry Ruben, apparently. T-Schmid, we had a
It's a
really
good deal
nice
for
visit
Ruben.
with Ski. It was great to see him. Jason and I were actually in a meeting when he got here, so we ended up hanging out with Philip for a while. And because we told him, we're like, oh, we'll be done. We're almost done with this meeting. And then it was probably another 45 minutes in our meeting. But he was just hanging out with Phil and chatting. And then, and Jason came up and got a chance to spend a little time with him too. But yeah, it was really fun to see him.
So I was 2 years ago old when I realized that $1 million bills are a thing. So I got $1 million. Count them zeros. Don't go salivate, and I keep this locked in the safe. All right. So I got $1 million and no BS, a moon rock.
That's awesome.
It says a piece of the lunar meteorite NWA 7959. Now, I question his love for me because that's really small. And I have doubts about the $1 million bill. But this is enclosed sample of 8 milligrams is a real moon rock according to the standards of the Meteorological Society. That's a hard word. London. The authenticity is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So I got $1 million in a moon rock. There you go.
That's pretty dope.
And the lesson here is I'm a terrible gift giver.
Terrible gift giver. She gives the gift that keeps on giving. I get Gen Con every day.
I'm really, really bad at giving gifts, actually. Bad at the whole birthday thing. Law Dog said, shaved my head already and said, good thing I have a nice color beard. And then a few grays started showing up. Thought I'd paid my dues on this mortal coil.
On this mortal coil. It keeps catching up with you, man. 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Oh, Bakamaru said, always tell my wife the only thing I want year after year is her in a bow. She threatens to bury me in the backyard every time. Phil's pretty alright to hang out with, too. He's not too bad.
He's okay.
He's okay.
He's okay.
So she threatens to I'm gonna back up. She threatens to bury you in the backyard because you want to see her in a bow. So rather than put herself in a bow, she would go to all that work to bury you?
Maybe because she really would, she's like, I need some help and a gift. I don't know what to get you. I want to get you something nice. What do you want? And she just really wants to get him a nice gift and thinks maybe he's joking about the bow. Maybe she doesn't like me.
Relationships are hard.
Like me, I thought you were joking about the $1 million in a moon rock that whole time. I didn't know.
Do I joke about anything?
No.
Who knows?
Everything he says is 1,000%
How do I know
serious.
now?
Jabe is like, no.
I have to question everything.
No, everything Jason says is 100% serious.
Yep.
Always.
Uh-huh.
Period. If you don't know that by hanging out with me already, chat, then I don't even know what you're paying. You're not paying attention to me, and this relationship is not going in the right direction.
For Christmas a few years ago, he got a cross stitch that said, "Till your unsolvable murder do us part." I've seen that pattern.
That is awesome.
That's great.
That is what you should do. I have one that says
Have a nice poop.
have a nice poop, and that she made for me. That is like treasure to me. It's like my $1 million in a moon rock from Jen. It says have a nice poop, and it's in my bathroom. It's been in my bathroom for years. It used to hang up right next to the toilet.
Yeah.
Now I don't. I haven't put the nail in the wall, and my toilet area is a little more confined
It's
than
a
it
little
used to
more
be.
recessed.
So it sits on the stand behind the toilet.
Yeah.
It's right there. So when you go to flip the lid up to do your business, it says have a nice poop.
you-
What I really want to do is, because I have a pedestal sink, is I want to put it on the pedestal sink, so when you sit down on the toilet and you look forward,
right
you're looking at
there.
the pedestal sink, and it's underneath the sink and it says have a nice poop. But that's really just for guests.
Yeah.
You know.
Have you seen the memes of people putting signs are supposed to go in the kitchen in the bathroom? So it's like one of them's like it's okay to lick the bowl.
Oh, that's perfect.
So
That's
good.
awesome.
That's
So good.
perfect.
So good.
I used to slip notes under the door
Yeah.
in Jen's bathroom when she was in the bathroom in the morning.
Are you
Like
pooping?
one of them says, "Are you pooping?" And I just slid it under the door as I walk by.
But then not too long ago, he saw a meme or a video or something where someone did that. Are you pooping? And they put it underneath. And then the note came back and it said, yes.
Yes.
Written in poop.
That's great.
I would not do that.
Oh, that's how you know you have relationship goals that are working, right? I put one underneath there that said "You are sexy," and I did a stick figure of Jen sitting on the toilet
A
pooping,
naked person
and
on
I
the
slid it
toilet.
under the door.
That's awesome.
I think it got thrown away. I saw it in the trash.
It was on the fridge.
It was on the side of the fridge. I saw it.
Yeah.
I think it got thrown away.
Yeah, I didn't take anything off the fridge.
Did Jason just invent the world's new longest word by putting way too many unpronounceable syllables together in meteorological? It's not meteor. I want to say meteorological, but it's meteoritical. Meteoritical. That's not a good word, man. Meteoritical.
Like a
Meteoritical.
meteorite?
The Meteoritical Society. Why is it not the Meteorological Society? Because that's
Because
like
that's
about
weather.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Meteorological is weather.
Meteorology should be the study of meteors. It's in the damn name.
Maybe everything's a meteor.
They had to make this poor ass word Meteoritical Society instead, because these people didn't come until after the
were too
Meteorological
late.
Society already stole their
Yeah.
name. I think I'd sue. I think that meteors should get together and be like, we were already here. We have prior art. Till your unsolvable murder do us part. I really like
That's
that,
great.
by the way. Bakamaro says, woman of my dreams. That's a perfect relationship. That's Jen and I. It's just like, yeah. She's like, I will stab you. Whenever I say I'm eating the last whatever sweet thing there is in a package, I will stab you. Actually, she says, I left that for you. When I'm saying, why did you let this go bad? And she's like, I left it for you. That's our conversation all the time. I was like, I didn't want it. She refuses to eat the last of the
I refuse
good
to eat
stuff.
the last of anything.
It's on your nightstand. You wake up to it every day, huh? You can
good
simply
reminder.
fact check your fact about the frog by Googling it. I always tell the truth. Siobhan, I don't Google anything you write, period. Whether it's right or wrong, I'll never know. I will go to my grave not knowing because I'm so afraid of Googling anything you say. I do not want to be on more lists.
Doesn't want to burn his computer afterwards.
I don't want to be on more lists. There's already enough people that are probably unhappy with me. So these are the two that I'm taking to Nova to work on. Do I want to put any paint on them first like Baby J did? Do I want to be a cheating cheater?
I mean, you could look at that two ways. One would be the no, because you said you weren't going to. Or the other would be, well, if he did it, then I'm going to do it
If he
too.
did it, I'm doing it. I don't know.
It depends on the level of pettiness.
The level of pettiness. Damn, well, that solved that question. I'm not even taking them now. I'm not even going to Nova now. Baby J, you're on your own.
I can't imagine his stress getting a message like that saying, hey, not going to make it.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Jason stubbed his toe, can't make it.
Let me know.
Let us know if you have any problems.
Put paint
Put
on
paint
one and not
on
the
just
other.
one and not the other one.
Yeah. That is true. He is quicker. Well, that's
Yeah,
not,
he's
it's
so
not
much
true.
faster than me. It's not even funny.
Well, but it's still because you spend all the time talking. Like, you do a lot more talking on stream than he does.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know. If I was in scale jail, I'd be pretty quiet too.
Yeah.
So much just mental fortitude required.
I think what I'm going to do is since I have the airbrush running, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some airbrush glaze base coats over the whole model to set up like a principal color that I can work off of. I really want to do both of these models that way. This one I'm feeling yellow-green, so that's what we're going to do.
Yellow-green.
Except we're going to do it, of course, with dark yellow-green because it's base. But we're going to mix up some dark yellow-green. I'll do it in a cup to show you. You know, our paints can go right through the airbrush. But because I put a zenithal highlight on it, let's go ahead and just use this as an opportunity to put a base layer down, show you how the zenithal really
Teaching
can make it pop.
opportunity.
So it's a teaching opportunity.
Teaching opportunity.
That makes it okay that I'm painting my Nova model.
Yeah.
So see how that worked? That was my own rationalization and spin doctoring live.
Yep.
Nobody can argue with me.
Lumberjack Tim, are you okay?
Tim's having a stroke.
Yeah. Can't blame autocorrect on that one.
We harassed Baby J a lot. Alright, so we'll put a little bit of paint.
Poor Baby J gets left alone, and the paint eaters come out to scream about eating paint.
Glaze and wash medium. Best stuff ever. It's also empty.
Empty.
My glaze
Empty?
and wash medium is farting because there's not enough in it
Is
anymore.
there any over here?
Maybe. We'll steal Baby J's.
A lot of white primer over here.
I have now 3 empty bottles of glaze wash. I've been through a lot of glaze wash medium.
Wow.
Not gonna lie. All right, and then water.
Oh, is it right here?
Boop. Brush. See, look at me. I'm even using my adult brain cell and stirring with the butt end of the brush rather than the bristles. Don't stir paint with the bristles if you can remember it. I never remember it until right now, where I can use it as a teaching lesson.
What's wrong with using bristles?
I can outsource Tim to Google what I say for you. I think Tim probably does that anyway. I think he's very interested in the things that you talk about, and he's always trying to make sure they're correct. Stir paint with our butts. Thanks, Jason. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Fun. That's exactly what I said. Make it happen. Not what I said at all.
That's a new commercial idea.
I would love to have video of this, though, because we could use this for marketing.
Well, good thing it's live. We have cameras there, right there. There's another one.
I'm not going to stir paint with my butt.
Look at all these cameras.
I'm not going to stir paint with my butt. What do you think this is?
There's hidden cameras all over this room.
Twerk stirring.
Twerk stirring.
I just want, okay, so
That's
what I
somebody's new
need,
vortex
and this is
mixer.
very dangerous
You
to ask for
balance
because
the-
chat is just crazy enough to deliver on it. But what I need now from somebody out there in chat land is the funniest video you can produce of you twerking with a paint bottle between your butt cheeks to
my
shake
gosh.
the pot.
Well, that's what
shake the
that's
paint.
what I was starting to say is, but you could balance it if you have really good balance and you're really good at the twerking. You could balance it on your back and then start your twerking, and it would shake your
Wow.
paint for you.
I'm thinking like a 3D printed thing that goes in your butt crack that holds a paint bottle that you can
Oh.
like twerk and shake it.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I need, chat. I don't need the thing. I
I
need
don't
the
think
video
you
of you
need it.
doing the thing.
I
I'm
think we
not
could
doing
get.
the
I
thing.
think we get Brennan on that.
No, I'm not going to make the thing and do the thing. That's not what I'm saying at all. Let's make this clear. It says you have asked for the... I said, Baka, at the beginning, I said, I am making a mistake here because chat is just crazy enough to do this. But I'm going to ask anyway. There you go, chat. That's your homework for the rest of the year. First person to come up with it gets a free Go Bag Evo.
Wow.
Lumberjack Tim said Siobhan is his favorite part of the Discord. Siobhan said, I am also my favorite part of the Discord.
Wow.
Siobhan also said, fun fact, when I was a private investigator, I used to install a bunch of tiny hidden cameras. That is a fun fact.
Private investigator. That's fun.
Jason, you have asked for the wrong thing.
I had a lot of choices I could have brought out there, right? I could have been like, "Hey, chat, you know what I need?" And the world was open to me.
Yeah, and then we'll
And
make.
what did I
good
choose?
Lord.
And if
We are
there's
gonna
multiples,
see
we'll make
some
Baby
stuff.
J pick the best one.
Jordan made it to DC. His plane has landed.
Then,
That was
then
quick.
where is he? Why isn't he here?
Because he's in Washington, D.C.
I
He's
mean,
in-
why
he said
isn't
in
he
chat.
in chat?
Well, he said in the chat, not on the Discord, or not on the Twitch chat.
He told Twitch chat they weren't important enough for him to show up and hang out with them
Uh-oh.
yesterday. So
True.
Xenophonetic wants to know, what is this spider model?
this is Asmodai from Diablo, right? Feel like, or Asmodeus or something like that. I don't remember what they call him. It's a Diablo 4 sculpt from somebody out there, and I sculpt other people's IP land. Bobson Dugnut entered it into the same model into our July challenge, and I fell in love with it instantly. I was like, I would paint that. It was just a rule of cool, instantaneous rule of cool thing. And so he goes, well, it's just a 3D print I did. I could send you one. And so he did. I threw him some shipping love. He sent me a really cool model, a really nice print, and booyah. With some very thin down dark yellow green, we now have a really good principal base coat laid on this guy that lets us build up color. I don't want him to be this color. I want every color on the model to have some of this color in it. So rather than mixing every color with this or whatever, you can have a really good starting point with basing with yellow, green, or whatever color you desire, right? And now every color that I glaze over the top or mix in can have this as a, you know, like a shadowy color or something like that. Right?
Tim, if you do have any video or photo proof of this, please only send it to Jason. Just send it directly to him, because he's the one who asked for this.
Did somebody already make it?
He said he's going to do it when he gets home. Lumberjack Tim.
I'm very scared now.
No, I was meant to.
The gears are turning over here. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to get. I need
what have
to
I
preface
done?
this by saying
What have I
it
done?
needs to be no more than R-rated. Right? I reserve the right to use it however I desire on the internet. So be careful what you send me. Make sure you let me know whether or not you want credit for the video. Do you want the world to know who you are? We have quite a big reach. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Monument Hobbies knows people.
Yeah.
So let's be real straight here.
Yeah, I wonder if the team that does our ads, how they feel. Be like, hey, can you throw this one up on?
Hey, can you throw this one up on our Facebook ads?
Sneak this one in. See what people
We want to see how it
think.
does. Yeah.
Said he's got bikini briefs and everything.
Oh wow.
It's the new Monument Pro Acryl Paint Shaker 9000.
Oh no. No, it's not.
Yikes.
And it's going to be to shake, 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 shake your booty. Except it's just going to be me in the background singing that.
Shake, shake.
Shake your booty.
Law Dog, have a good day.
Gotta bounce. Pick up some
More
more glaze
glaze
medium.
medium.
Get me some too. I'm out. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for some glaze and wash medium today. Take it easy, Law Dog. We won't see you again until Tuesday, because remember, this is the last Monument stream until we're back from Nova. So have a wonderful weekend.
Let's get
Asmodan. Oh, that's what it is. Asmodan.
unless Jabe and Jen take over.
Oh.
Jabe and Jen could take over. That's a thing. You could. It could be the Jabe and Jen show while we're gone.
Yeah.
You guys know how to do it, and I've been saying for years that would be great.
Well,
So.
But I was just saying this morning that Because there's no stream the next couple of days. I have extra time to get things done.
See, Jen's using the time.
Yeah.
So I could do a dark burgundy. Because I think I want her to be more of a, like a reddish, oranges, golds kind of a thing going on. Or I could do blues, because I want her to be more of a reddish, orangish, golds. And I could do cooler shadow tones on her, and we could do like a Payne's Gray or Deep Sea Ben. Let's do Deep Sea Ben. I answered my own question.
Usually how that works. Hi, Gosu. It's not the last stream forever. It's just the last stream.
Last
until
stream
Tuesday.
forever. We're not making a big deal of it, but we're gone.
Had a good run.
We had a good run. The Torque Tex mixer. I see what you did there. You've got bikini briefs and everything. That didn't tell me a whole lot.
Makes me scared more than anything.
It makes me scared. I was already scared when after I finished my request. I thought about it. My adult brain cell kicked in the back of my head once I had asked people to do this. To tell me that this was probably the worst idea I've ever had. All right. I'm going to just reuse this cup. Cup-o, what is basically a dark yellow-green wash. I'm running low on cups. I don't know where the other cups are. I'm also running low on paper towels.
Restock.
Do
I think I saw
need,
some cups a couple days ago.
There's some place. I
Over
think they're
by-
out in that other room.
Over by the Banos.
What other room?
Oh, by the bathrooms on the other side?
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
maybe
in that
so.
Oh,
middle
in the
area
middle
there's
part?
that shelf. I
Maybe
think
so.
there's a,
Maybe
I think
there is a big wad of them over
big
there.
thing of
I feel like
sleeves.
that, now that you've said that, I feel like you're correct.
I think
You are
I'm
correct,
correct
sir.
too.
Do you want me to tell Carter to look for him?
Yeah, if you could, see if there's little plastic cups over there. That'd be awesome. Deep Sea Ben. Ah! And more glazed wash medium that I'm out of. I have maybe enough.
Here we could trade. We'll trade and then Jordan will think he ran out.
Oh yeah. Sorry, Jordan, you're out of glazed wash medium now. Oh, that's so much better. So much more satisfaction in this bottle. He uses a lot too, though. We go through a lot of this damn stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's golden, man. It's funny because I'll see pictures in the hobby groups around the internet where people are like showing off their hobby stations and stuff, and you'll see like a smattering of different paint brands and such. And the thing that I always recognize from our brand, titanium white, right? Bold pyro red, and glazed wash medium.
Yep. Everyone's got it.
There's a lot of people with titanium white, pyro red, and glazed wash medium sitting on their shelf.
No, that was such a big mess up.
I didn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Not my fault.
Okay, it's dirty metal now. Buff it out.
Broken Chef says, I want to see the blue shadow. Kind of what we're doing. Deep Sea Ben looks a lot more green than it does when it dries. It's a very deep blue-green. Or green-blue. It's called dark green-blue is really what the color should be called, according to our Pro-Acryl nomenclature. But
It's on there.
damn that Ben Comets. All right.
We're gonna get into some real tight areas, and I'm not excited about it.
When doing this kind of coverage, you want to make sure that you try to hit the area only once. You don't want to layer up because when you're going this thin, you're going to start darkening stuff up very quickly as you go with layers 2, 3, and so on. So try to make sure you're doing very light layers so that you can build up and not overdo it. Keep some of your zenithal on there.
Hey, Tim, you can't just say something like that without further explanation.
What's that? What'd I do?
He said, I've been on multiple stages in those bikini briefs. And that's it.
How big are these stages? How big is the audience?
I have so
I
many
need
questions.
to know. I need to know.
If Big Bob Zilla were here, he would give you a run for your money on this whole statement.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Oh, please. We've already made bad decisions on asking people for video. Please don't extend this into
Please no pictures.
to Tim Bikini Brief pictures.
Broken Chef said, Jason, I want to thank you about the comparing art discussion. Your answer was very insightful. I'm already working on it.
Comparing what?
Comparing art. Like comparing, like not comparing yourself to other people.
Oh,
only comparing
yeah.
to your own last
Yeah.
project or whatever, however you say it.
Only compare
Say it
yourself to yourself.
So perfectly.
I'm a firm believer there is no good, better, best when talking about humans. There's just differences in capability. All things being equal, which, you know, they rarely are the amount of time you can spend, you know, riding your bike every day versus the guys that train for, you know, the Tour de France is going to be different, so you may never be as good as those guys. But it's just a matter of capability. Should you have the ability in your life at some point to set aside the time to train as much as they do, then I believe that you could become that. And again, along that journey, just compare yourself to your last time.
Okay, but so
I don't
for
ever
me,
worry what my stuff looks like next to somebody else's. I'm like, mine is mine.
Yeah.
Comparing it to somebody else is irrelevant, you know, unless we set out, like Baby J and I, painting Horace as a teaching thing to show how two different artists would attack the exact same model in different ways and come up with totally different things, but where the similarities and comparisons come. It can be a very educational thing to compare and contrast. Don't get me wrong there. But I'm talking about in that personal comparison matrix where you're judging more than comparing, right? You're making judgment calls on how good you think you are and all that. And I'm like, your capabilities will change along this journey hundreds and hundreds of times. Saw somebody in chat say they might attempt non-metallic metal for the first time today, and I'm like, hell yeah, do it.
do it.
No reason not to. Don't be scared.
Tim, the locations are of less interest to me than the reason. Or the
Money,
the
$20
event.
is $20.
I guess maybe.
Yeah. Pro Acryl's
he
Pro
said,
Acryl, you know?
I wore a tearaway tracksuit to beard and mustache competition, so the
Oh,
judges
he told
would
me
go,
that. Yeah,
okay,
he
all
told
right,
us
now
that.
it's
He got up there and
understand.
tore his
Now
clothes
it's-
off.
Now it's a great story. I mean, it was a great story, but you had a lot of questions. Now I get it.
Hey,
That's
I want to
awesome.
know what the unnatural mustache category includes, Tim.
Natural mustache. That's the like we talked about the tattooed eyebrows. You tattoo mustaches. Oh, look at that.
Cups.
Yeah, I want to know what the unnatural mustache
Cups.
category is. Thank you, Matt.
That was
Carter, were there more?
There's 2 more of those.
Okay, cool.
cool.
Lifesaver, we has cups.
I was about to buy them. Well, I didn't know. I mean, he said he was out. I'm like, well, I know I got them on Amazon before, but then they were talking about how they remembered. How they thought they saw
This
them.
is one of those things we've probably bought 6 times and have 6 times worth of them
Yeah.
sitting around the office in
Yeah.
various places.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to avoid buying a 7th
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Thank you, Carter.
Mustache wax. So if they're waxed, like waxed, you know, like the fancy,
Oh, yours is
less
just
natural.
you licking it.
So you just let it grow freely.
You just let it grow and whatever you can shape by licking it.
Yeah. That is amazing. Styled is what it's called. Learning about the mustache competition.
Would Brush Goop be good mustache holder?
Broken Chef, non-metallic metal is
Maybe.
something you've been working on lately, but you do not have the same shining metal look on Percival. You mean as you see on Percival when we painted? Percival's kind of a mid-level shine, I would say. You know, shiny but not polished. For metals, I always think in terms of polish. You know, what is the level of shine you're going for. When you look at polished metal, you think more mirror-like surfaces. A lot of people would discuss that in terms of like chrome, you know, things like that. I very rarely do that because most of what I'm trying to do is just give you a, you know, a shiny but used surface, which is what Percival's trying to accomplish
So
here.
cute.
And I think we hit it pretty good. It gives that good metallic flare. I put a little blue and purple in it just to give it some depth, and I think that worked really well. We could add a bunch of yellowish colors. We added some yellow green in the top areas and stuff. It's very subtle, just to give some environmental coloration to the metal too. Whereas the gold is probably a little bit more polished, but kind of in the same range. It goes a little bit brighter and a little bit more contrast in the dark reflections than the steel armor does, but not by much. And I don't know that I have anything that we've done in the recent past that is like super shiny looking.
Ostino wants to know if you've ever painted the same model as someone else on the Monument team, and yes, Jordan and Jason both painted the same model.
Do we have his
when
Horus
Jordan,
over there, or did he take it?
When Jordan first started.
Is it on the shelf?
Shortly after Jordan started here.
Yeah, we did basically a tale of two painters.
Oh, yep, he has them both too.
Can you go one painter? So we both did the newer Horus Forge World model over the course of, I don't remember what it was, 10 days, I think?
Yeah, I want to say it was like 2 weeks.
Yeah, probably like 2 weeks on stream.
2 weeks of streams.
Something like that.
Were you ever looking over his shoulder being like, oh, what are you doing for this?
No, but he certainly was. He certainly was.
He was new, though.
He changed his stuff like 3 times.
He did change his...
He would look over and see what I was doing, and he would have some excuse of why he was changing something. So I like giving him grief on that, you know.
That's great.
But
yes, and it ended up being a tie, right?
Yeah, we tied.
Yeah, they literally, because it was a chat vote, and it, like, the person at the last minute put in his vote, and it made it a tie.
Oh no, the neutral. I give him the same grief here at the office. Trust me.
Oh,
I call him out at the office too.
100%.
Yeah, we're not talking behind his back here. No, he built both models and we painted them, and they both turned out phenomenal. I really like both of these, and the goal of it was not as much of a competition. That's the fun part. The reality was to show you how two painters of you know I don't ever like talking like this, but two painters of our skill, right, would interpret a model differently because, you know, your technique, the way you prefer to paint, the color choices you like to make will guide your hand in everything that you do. And when you then force people into the same corner with the same model, you'll start to see those personalities develop, and it teaches people a lot. I think we got a lot of really, really good feedback from the community on these because everybody said the same thing, that it was very interesting to see how two painters attack the same model, right? Baby J likes very bright, vivid colors. I like to use bright, vivid colors in very very small, detail-oriented ways. He prefers to have, like, his red cloak is really just eye-bursting red. It's phenomenal. Mine is very war-torn and beaten, right? And so there's a lot of little nuances like that you'll find across the model that just kind of show, you know, I come from, and it's hard to say this because I've been painting for over 45 years, right? So I say I come from a world of scale model building, but it does still have a big influence on my painting style because I tend to use more desaturated colors. We paint a lot of military models in concept, right? Sci-fi and fantasy, war models. And so I tend to think in my head of these models having been through grit and grime and war, and so the colors are a little bit more blended on the model. Not quite to the level of like grimdark, you know, everything's oil wash, Nurgle, and all the colors run together. I still do like some separation, but you can just tell the influences are different. But it doesn't limit it. That's why we talk in terms of like painting competitions being hard to judge, and the only way that you start to bring them into something that I think is a better recognition source for those painters involved is when you have everybody paint the same model under the same guidelines. That gets boring for viewers because there's not as much eye candy.
Yeah.
But I think the viewers would learn more from it too because they would see 80 painters paint, say, Horus. Mm-hmm. And then when they saw the ones on the top pedestal, they would be like, yeah, you know, or what the heck are you talking about? Because there's a lot of, everybody can judge things easier and everybody can see the differences. And it's not so reliant on the shape of the model, which is so important in our hobby because, you know, you get a model like Horus and then somebody else paints a Gundabad troll, right? And the judges don't like fantasy as much as they like sci-fi, and so Horus wins, you know? And it's less about, you know, maybe technique, or obviously these aren't painted to the same level, but you get my drift. the variation in model makes it tougher to discern where a person's technique is different, how their style influenced it, and all those kinds of things. So I'm a big fan of that type of comparison, like we were talking about, being able to use it in a way that you can compare and contrast for educational purposes so that everybody that's looking at it understands why one artist made the choice they did versus the other, and how you personally like what those choices led to, so that it can influence you in your painting journey to make decisions that help you develop your own style that you really enjoy the outcome of your models more. Right? That's really what it's all about.
Nutrimensch, I was going to have you guess, but I think you probably figured it out.
This one's mine. The bright yellow cape is Jordan's. This one's mine. This one has focus on light effects. I mean, I did the glow effect for the mace, but we both did, very similar lighting direction on our models and chose it. Just my metals are more like less burnished than his, right? He was all shiny and bright, and mine are all dulled down a little bit. My bronze on my metals don't have as big of a contrast. What we were talking about with non-metallic metals, when you show shine, you're really discerning between the amount of contrast in your brightest areas versus your darkest. And like I said, I don't have anything sitting here that really gives us the feel of more chrome. All my stuff is very dreary. Let's look. Oh, maybe her Andrasta.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andrasta's plate is more like chrome, right? Like more polished steel. So you see across Horus, where his armor has got the feel of metal, right? Hers has that very dark to light transition of more polished steel. And same with the gold, like up at the top, right? Just find more contrast. Your variation between your brightness and your darkness is positioned closer together and more intense in its difference when you want to go to higher polish on non-metallic metal. But again, that's just, for me, it's just a feel per model. I'll look at something and be like, oh, I really want this model to be bright and shiny. Well, I don't do that very often, actually. What was I just painting that you were surprised I was using those colors? Was it this one?
Well, no, Percival's Feather.
Oh, Percival's Feather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Percival was a lot brighter than...
Because those are like my colors.
Than not. Yeah.
But I do love the colors on Morgana.
What do you got going on over there, Gabe?
I didn't know where
you just had a flash of insight.
I didn't know where his washes were, and I
Just found them?
I top decked it.
Top decked it. Nutra, that would be a good category to have. What, paint the same model? Yeah, it's difficult because a lot of the painting competitions are not done by anybody that really can guide it that way, right? And a lot of people are afraid to do it. We're going to be doing one. We are coming out with models that are built specifically as painting trainer models that will help you and us to show you how to paint. And we hope to have those to be able to show on the stream here very soon. Brennan, one of our employees right now, just supported the model, and we'll have some 3D printed prototypes ready here soon. And then we'll move on to determine if we're going to do them in cast resin or if we're going to continue to 3D print them. They are models that could be 3D print in a single piece and be very hefty and nice. So if they turn out well enough, then we may keep them that way. But the models themselves are such that we could say we have a competition for painting one of these 3 or 4 cameos, and they would all be able to be in a competition together and feel very similar. They're not the same model, so that rather than you having to choose to paint the female barbarian, you could paint the male science, the male sci-fi trooper, or whatever, but they are all in the same vein, so that the skills shown would be recognizable model to model very easily. Or we may just do, if we do 3 models, we may just do 3 categories. You can enter whichever category you want based on that model. And then we just pick a winner from each of those categories, which would be fun too. So that's what our plan is. Just because I hate judging painting competitions where everybody gets to enter a different model. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. It feels bad for me to have to pick a winner.
Yeah.
So we hope to be able to do that. I don't know if we'll make it in time for like Adepticon this next year, but I would really like to. It depends on how many of these we can make in good quality quickly. Is there a skill in mini painting, Rex says? I expect to learn everything during 6.2-minute YouTube video. Oh, yeah, there's no skill at all. You can definitely learn it in 5 minutes. Where 4.5 minutes of that is just joking about how bad Games Workshop is. All of the teaching models are just my head. It's the one that from my profile picture with the wild hair, you know, with my bed head.
Yeah.
And that would be great. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. They're actually really cool models.
They are very cool. I don't know if I've seen the other ones.
He's been having problems because it has such a heavy midsection to it that we're trying to get it in a way that supports so that if we do decide to produce them in 3D prints, that they feel right and don't have a lot of cleanup to do. They're in one piece, so it's big. It's a hefty one because it's a 75 millimeter thing, which is, you know, just a little bit smaller than this base in its diameter, right? So they're about this size. A little bit smaller, and they have parts that stick out, you know, like a weapon, like a sword over here and a shield over here or something like that. But they're 75 millimeter. I think this is 80.
I don't think they'll be scantily clad per se, but they're for practicing things like painting skin.
Oh, they're not scantily clad at all. There is skin on some of them,
But there's skin to practice.
Siobhan will turn them into scantily clad women because that's what he does. Also, not trustworthy. There's Broken Chef, you need to watch the streams where he did it. What, for Percival? Percival Chevalier, the first of his name? My favorite model of all time, a.k.a.? That shows how trustworthy you are, because I can always trust that you'll turn all of your female models into scantily clad versions of themselves. Fact. Yeah, the personal videos are all up on YouTube. Gabe's been transferring them over within 24 hours of the end of the broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them on the clips, because you'll see the ones that say stream in the brackets. It says stream or live?
It says the big M in brackets.
Oh, the
and
M
then
in
it
brackets.
says stream with a little dot.
And it says stream, and those are all the past live streams cut in their entirety without any edits. And there's a few of those up there that just have, you'll see Percival as the thumbnail.
Mm-hmm.
But any of those in that time frame. I painted him pretty much straight through. I don't think I took any breaks on Percival until the end.
No, there's a couple days where you either like were
Grabbed another model.
Yeah, or you're talking more than you were painting. But there's most of them. If you find, I believe the first day you painted him, I put him as a thumbnail. So the first one you find with Percival, you'll be able to start there. But that was a lot of face. Working on the face.
Yeah, because I painted the face first. Again, going back to what we talked about earlier, the face is nested, no pun intended, inside the helmet, right? So I really didn't mean for that to happen. It just happened.
Well, it was great.
Okay. Well,
I enjoyed it.
the face was nested inside the helmet. Again, because I didn't want to paint I wanted to paint the armor first, but then I looked and I was like, yeah, but those feathers creep into that little lip all around the helmet, and that's going to be a bummer. So just paint the face first. And I'm glad I did, because painting the face is the best part of this entire model. His face and his eyes are literally the best part of the model. And that little bit of gloss varnish on the eyes really nails it. It just gives him that bright-eyed big city look. He looks like the kid learning everything about the world around him, and that's what does it for me for this model. It's just I wish the pile of bodies would have been the right scale. That bummed me out.
Yeah.
But so go the days.
It'll happen.
So go the days. I'm gonna get them to do. Somebody emailed me yesterday, or emailed support asking if they could buy these. I don't know that we'll get rid of them, but I'll try to remember to respond to that. But this is the pile of bodies.
Oh, wow.
It literally has like a knight on the top, you know, like a female knight, long hair, laying across the top, a beheaded warrior underneath that, and then like another bard, or, you know, they're all just like various military people laying around. But I need that scaled up to about 1.5 or 2 times, because I wasn't really thinking. It just makes him look like a giant sitting on top of him right now.
It looks like a big bird rather than a...
Yeah. So I need this to be at least 1.5. I think 2 might be too big, but that might even be funnier.
Was this from the link that Gosu sent you?
If they did it at 2x, it would be about that wide, which would probably be good. Gosu sent me a link, and then it led me down a rabbit hole that I found better ones.
Gotcha.
The link was not what I was looking for. They were kind of like strewn body parts and skeletons and things like that. I wanted something that felt more like freshly killed.
Yeah.
Slayer Street, what's going on?
So I got my. We were at the show. I bought every box of models they had.
The hit point press.
The hit point press.
Yeah.
But they didn't have one box, and so I ordered it online, and it finally came. And one of the models has kind of the big feature. Doesn't have the big eyes, but it's got big features like Percival does.
What kind of animal is
It's
it?
like a raccoon.
Oh, cute.
Kinda,
Is it so
yeah.
cute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's got like a what's the word? The feathered hat on, like the like Three Musketeers style.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like a leather coat. It's
Fun.
cool.
I think because of the size of this guy, I'm going to give him an undercoat too. Now that I'm staring at it. And I think I would like to do like dark flesh again. Dark flesh is such a good color. Burnt sienna rates, as does mahogany, but dark flesh kind of gives me the perfect in between where I want a reddish undertone. It's the same thing we did on the rhino, right? Where we did the dark flesh shadows and then the gray on the top. This gives a good sense of warmth to the skin that makes it feel alive without going into pinks, which I like a lot better. Going into too much magenta and stuff feels a little too pale skinned, you know? Humans have more translucent skin than big burly creatures like elephants and such, and so we see a lot more color there. Doesn't mean you can't have nuanced color.
TJ Rogers, thank you for the follow.
I don't know that I need a whole lot of thinning on this. So. Freshly killed. Yeah, like the fight just ended is what I was thinking of, Gosu. Rather than like piles of bodies that were dismembered skeleton style stuff.
Yeah, this wash really brought it all together.
Where'd you do it?
So the top here, you can see I messed up a little bit right there, but there's less gold in the cracks now.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it, this third ring down.
Yeah, it knocks it all off.
You can see that. That's kind of what this one looked like until I added all that wash. A few spots I can go and touch up, but
Makes things quicker and easier.
yeah. Cleans up the edges.
Percival devoured them in the heat of battle. All that fighting burns calories. He's not like, he doesn't eat people. He likes cheesesteaks.
Likes cheesesteaks. Can an owl eat cheesesteak?
Can it wear armor and carry a sword?
It could. Yeah.
Then the answer is yes. Can he cuss and steal people's cigarettes and drink their swill out of their glasses at the bar? Then cheesesteaks are definitely on the menu.
I like the idea that Percival may have one thing that's a real owl, you know? It's like, he can do all these fantastical things, but...
Well, the funny thing that's going to happen in the story, the narrative that we haven't talked about yet, is that one day in the middle of the heat of battle at the end, you know, he's gonna lay an egg. And that's just going to throw the whole narrative weird.
Would that make Percival, Wait a second.
Things are going to get weird. Things are going to get weird.
Things are going to get a little funky around here.
It's like, wait a minute, you've been lying to us all along. And then he's going to have to take care of the egg. Or maybe it's that he doesn't lay the egg, but an egg gets left on his front door with a note saying, "This is yours." He's
like, "No!
Thanks for the good times." And then we're going to have to journey with Percival as he takes care and fathers this egg. Like, I can't go to battle. I got to sit on the egg.
I imagine it's not an owl, right? Like, it could be a different animal.
It could be whatever.
It could be a snake.
A snake?
A snake.
I don't think Percival's going to father a snake.
Could, though. It'd be a worthy companion. A large snake.
No, I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be like Percival Jr., like Percival Chevalier the Sixth.
First of his name.
First of his name. Right. So on this, you've got to, in order to make sure, because I kind of did this backwards, right? I normally would not do the green and then the red. I would normally do the red and then the green. But since I already threw away all the green, we're having to kind of play this backwards, right? So you just want to take a very extreme angle at painting the red to where I'm painting the underneath of the chin from this angle so that you just can't get red very far, right? It's underneath the chin, it's underneath the pec, but it doesn't extend onto the green very much because it just can't get there. It'll make it tough to do some of the things like the bicep back there, so we'll just have to cheat it. But again, as much as the base will allow, because the base is your biggest enemy when doing this worm's eye view style painting. But as much as the base will allow, just shoot upwards into the model. Keep your aim true, little boy. And again, a very thin, almost glaze consistency to the paint that I'm airbrushing with, so that it doesn't overpower too badly any of the colors it hits anyway. Give a nice little subtle glow.
Punisher said, I clearly know nothing about owls. Oh, because he was asking if he was going to lay an egg. When I was in college, I took a class of like methods for teaching elementary school science or something like that. And we had to dissect owl. I don't know what you call it. But owls will eat stuff and then they regurgitate and leave it in piles. And so that was one of our labs in this class. Was they gave us a pile of owl vomit, and we had to go through and take it apart and find what the owl ate. Are they They're called pellets? I don't know. Pellets to me seems like what comes out the other way, but I don't know anything about owls or science, so I'm gonna take
You
your
can do
word
that?
for
Is
it.
that what you just said?
Huh?
You regurgitate pellets? Is that what you just said? He just said over here, he goes, I can do that too, I think.
No.
Oh.
No, I said no. I said that I had to do that too.
Oh, you okay?
When I
Oh.
was in elementary school, we did
He's
that.
talking
Yeah,
to
so
my deaf
he's
ear, but
talking
I
about
sure
when
like
he
my
was in
story
school.
better.
Yeah.
No,
I like
can
my
do that,
story
yeah.
better, chat.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just going to go with it that Gabe can make Gabe pellets.
I make jade pellets.
That
He
was
makes
a
jade
science
pellets.
project when Gabe was in school.
They look like this.
Yes.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
They look like this.
What stream do you think this is?
Jade pellets.
Jade pellets. Kind of like hairballs, but from owls, exactly.
That looks really good.
Oh, yeah, that's neat.
He kind of looks nerdly.
What
Just
did
right
you?
now.
Okay, wait. What colors?
Dark flesh and dark yellow green.
Okay, dark flesh is the more.
Yeah,
of the
dark
brown.
flesh is the red
Yeah.
to give you some shadow. And again, you know, the way you want to spray it is so that from the top. Now, he has a lot of spherical shapes on his belly and such, so you'll see the red kind of halo around those shapes. But you want to see mostly your you know, light color here, which is our dark yellow green, over the zenithal. So it's actually reading more as yellow green because it's over the top of white, right? And then from the bottom, you don't want to see the yellow green hardly at all. That's the way you do this top down, bottom up. On this one, the dark sea bin is the color that I'm using for the shadow, so I'm not going to put a top down color, I don't think. I guess we could. I don't know that this model wants to be the same way, though, because it has a lot of individual parts and a lot of non-metallic metal, so I'm going to leave her alone. We're just going to use that as the base color. And then I'll brush, everything else will be done in brushwork.
Richard Need said, Daddy J, I'm excited to paint and hang out at Dragonfall.
They keep wanting me to come. I told them I would get in contact with them. I'm in an email that as soon as I get back from Nova, we'll discuss.
Something that I don't know about?
Huh?
That was my question, is are you going to something that I don't know about?
It's the Dragon. I mentioned it briefly after. No, not Gen Con. Zambies came in one day when we were all on stream and was talking about it, and I said if we can make it work, we're going to try to just come hang out. It's a small regional con in Wisconsin. Uncle Adam and everybody there.
Okay.
Right, and Zambies has been pushing to get me there so that we can hang out and play. Sam is there. Adam's there. I don't know if John and Miniac are going to be there. It's regional to those guys, so it'll be that crew of people.
Gotcha.
But it's very difficult because there's no close airport, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And it's kind of like, I mean, it's far enough away to where you'd have to rent a car.
Probably fly to Minneapolis and drive. I had to do that going to Wisconsin once.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's like a long way.
It's not really that far.
I think it's rent a car, though. I don't think it's Uber. I think it's just past the ability to, like, Uber, right?
Yeah.
It looks pretty far away from Minneapolis.
Right. It was like an hour drive.
Yeah.
Probably.
You can Uber as far as you want to go.
Yeah, you can Uber as far as you'd like to go, but you pay for it.
But
Might
I think
be
you would
cheaper
rent
to
a
just get a
car
car.
and just have a car. Even though the car is going to sit at the hotel, it's probably cheaper than doing
It
Uber
is
both
definitely
ways.
cheaper. Yeah.
So anyway, I have to
Well,
get the
I don't
details
know.
figured out because I don't know where to fly. I think Zambi yesterday said Minneapolis, and then you drive because it's at some resort in something Bay, not Green Bay. I don't remember. I don't have all the details yet. I mean, I do, but I haven't acted on them yet. Because it's the week before New York Comic Con, so there's a lot of decision making that has to go on there.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that would be
that's
a
a
lot
lot.
of time.
Yeah, it's the weekend right before New York Comic Con, so it's one of those where it's like, well, then
Lake
do
Geneva.
we just fly straight from there to New York City? How do the logistics work on that's rough on
Oof.
me and Jen and the dog and all that stuff. So, lots to figure out. The nice thing is it's only like a 2-day deal. It's only like a Friday, Saturday.
Oh, nice. It's
Go
not one of
Sunday.
these 17-day long conventions.
Well, no, and the nice thing is when we don't have a booth, we can literally go in for 2 days. It just has to be something that makes sense.
I mean, I would think that you would fly to Milwaukee. It doesn't look.
Lake Geneva, and it is. I think it's Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's Lake Geneva, and it's not far from it.
Yeah, I think it's Milwaukee and then Lake Geneva, but it still looked like it was about an hour away. No.
I'm gonna look right now.
Just get airdropped in out of the Monument private jet.
Oh yeah, we do have that, don't we?
Yeah, but I think that they've misconstrued it's very small,
Yeah, it's like an hour.
right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's called a carrier,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not really capable.
Yep.
And it's not even painted yet.
It might carry Percival.
I don't think so. Percival is out of scale for this
Oh man,
deal.
yeah, he could ride the back of it.
I don't think that's happened. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, but I'm saying. The Monument private jet. Can you imagine the day where we have an airplane with an M on it? Like on the tail? It's coming, chat.
No interest.
We're having.
Jen and Jason coming
Yeah, but
to a
But Jen, you
municipal
could-
airport near you.
No, I'm never getting in it, so it'll just be a Jason plane.
Oh, Jen doesn't fly in risky, small...
Unremarkable
Somebody likes
flesh
us.
bag. Just follow.
Unremarkable flesh bag is awesome. I am a
think
meat
that
popsicle.
you're quite remarkable.
I am a meat popsicle.
see, but with a private jet, when we say what should we get for lunch today, you could pick anywhere in the world. We go get lunch from anywhere.
Are you paying for this jet, Gabe?
We can.
Cuthbert,
Yeah.
Cuthbert Allgood.
Darn right I am. You are.
Cuthbert Allgood. Why does that sound like a character I should know?
Maybe it is.
Cuthbert Allgood.
Tall good. There's 2 T's there.
the fancy rich real estate agency next door to it flies all the time. You'll donate a $5 towards the monument private jet. Yeah. So it's not gonna be very rewarding.
The Dark
Cuthbert
Tower.
is the Dark Tower. Yes. Okay. Monument plane will be constantly shaking to mix up the paint. Please no. The Monument Cessna. That's more like it. I was surprised when I was signing up for my ground classes to do flight, because I was going to go to flight school. And when I was signing up for the ground classes and everything, and I really started looking in earnest at planes for the outcome of that, I was really surprised at how cheap you can get a plane.
My mom's uncle, technically, was a pilot for his whole adult life. And he came here once to look at a plane, a small plane. And my mom and I went with him. And I'm like, this is crazy. I never in my life thought I'd be shopping for planes.
And they're cheap.
You know? But yeah, it was
cheaper than cars.
Because he was just an old retired pilot.
Yeah.
You know, and he had enough money to buy this plane. So, kind of crazy.
Yeah, in a lot of cases, they're cheaper than cars.
Yeah.
But what's not cheap is getting your pilot's license.
That's actually not bad.
Do you get like all your hours and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it costs, but it's not sick time costs, but it's not horrible. I mean, a lot of people spend more on coffee.
It's true. I probably spend more on Red Bull.
So, you know. Yeah, because a buddy of mine had a twin-engine Apache, and I always thought, what? How'd you get so rich? And then we went and looked at the plane, and the plane's like, oh, I had a 66 Buick Wildcat once. You know, it felt like that. It felt like, I'm not getting this antique. You know, but I did, and it was great. But he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm just making payments on it. It was like $22,000 or something like that, you know?
What?
So,
For a plane?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
This was in the early 2000s. $10K for a basic license, $50 to $100 for commercial.
College education. Comparable to a degree.
It's true. Yeah.
You thought, see, your uncle got a tiny propeller plane, you thought it wasn't? And then you found out, Yep. I was surprised. Because you live in this world where you're like, oh, in order to own a plane, you got to be a billionaire. And then you look at the prices. I mean, new planes cost a lot of money, but they're like motorhomes. As soon as they're not new anymore, they're like free.
Private jets. But, you know, you're talking about like prop planes or something. They're not as expensive.
No, it's props, like Cessnas and Milwaukee is 39 miles. Rockford is 44. I just want to fly into Rockford because
you're going to pay like $900 for a flight to Rockford, Wisconsin.
Rockford, Illinois.
Is that where it is? I don't even know where Rockford is, but it's not a major metropolitan airport. I can tell you that.
American doesn't have a hub in Rockford, Illinois. It's the upkeep and storage on a plane that costs. Yeah. Again, I was surprised, though, because in Pennsylvania, if you kept it outside, it was actually really cheap. It was cheaper than, like, boat storage or something like that. So.
I feel like if I would ever get a plane, I would want to have my own land. Have my own landing strip and...
Well, they have that in Chandler.
Yeah.
They have that little...
community that has
in Chandler where there's a municipal airport, and the streets are wide, and you'll see people... Not very often anymore, I don't think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they have, like, their driveway... And they have a big garage, and they just drive their plane right into the garage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a central.
It's like near the 202
strip, and then everybody's garages are their hangars.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. $98 round trip from Phoenix to Rockford, says Richard Needs.
On like Spirit. No.
She says no. I'm not allowed. Spirit Airlines.
And probably not Phoenix, probably Mesa Gateway.
Well, Kratos, that's what everybody's talking about. Like, we have some private jet someplace. I want to know where this is. Is it parked next to the yacht? Because if so, we'll just invite all of the people who are going to go to Dragonfall to the yacht party.
That would be cool. That would be a fun
We'll get like a pontoon houseboat.
Yeah.
On like a little lake out here in Phoenix someplace, and we'll invite everybody around to come to FuseCon.
A lake in Phoenix.
Well, there's one up north.
Lake Tahoe.
It's not Phoenix.
It's a big one.
Lake Phoenix. That thing at Tempe.
Tempe Town Lake.
Yeah.
It's still not Phoenix. Tempe.
Dude, it's right here. It's Phoenix.
Lake Pleasant. that.
Let's go have a let's see how much it costs to put a monument pontoon party boat on Tempe Town Lake,
We paint and play war games.
and we'll have paint and play war games.
That'd be kind of
And it
dope,
just
though.
it just goes 1 mile back and forth.
That'd be pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
because it's like
that's all
a
it
fishing
is.
pond is all that thing is. No, we just anchor it in the middle. Everybody has to swim out or use those paddle boats you can rent
I
on
would
Tempe
not
Town Lake.
swim in Tempe Town Lake. No chance. I would swim in Tempe Town Lake.
It's a lake of sand and
there's-
dirt.
There's probably bodies in it. So. Ugh.
All right, gang. We're done. You're done with us. We're done with you.
Boom.
Thank you for hanging out, watching some paint dry. How did you do over there, Gabe? You didn't do a lot of talking.
Yeah, what'd you do, Gabe?
You were
I
nestled
did
deep in it.
A lot of I got
some
I got a
bricks.
nice layer going on the first 3, and then as I got into these bits, I got frustrated. You can see the little spot in the middle there.
Yeah. Oh, because it's hard to get to.
Oh my gosh! And there's so many little pipes.
Piping and all that stuff.
So I have to.
Well, but that piping is going to turn silver, so you can get black all over it.
It's true. This is true.
Always be thinking about, like, I don't have to be delicate around these things because I'm just going to paint the pipe silver and leave
Yep.
everything else gold.
Yep. So, but so far, I'm digging how the top part of it came out.
And that's going to be like red
Spots.
brick?
No, I think I'm
Gray?
gonna do. I think I'm gonna do like blackstone.
Okay, cool.
So it's gonna be gray. So,
I think that'll give you a lot
Black
more
and-
contrast. It'll look a lot better.
yep.
I really like the bellows on there. I think doing that in like a brown leather on the bellows, like a
Yeah.
real, nasty
I know.
blackish brown leather on the bellows would be really cool.
I was debating just switching from the black brick to start on this because I'm excited about it, but that is not smart because it's very outside the model.
Well, I mean, there's a point in where you paint what you want to paint.
True.
Because you want to stay energized about the model. Don't let there are no rules. Don't let the idea of rules keep you from enjoying what you're doing. Nutrimentor, thank you so much. I will be flying out tonight. For those of you that are in the northeast portion or the east central portion of the U.S., if you might be thinking about going to Nova, I will be there tomorrow. Baby J is there today, setting up. And so we are hoping to see as many people as possible while we're there in Washington, D.C. this weekend. I'll be sitting there painting these 2 models. Pa-ta! Sitting in a folding chair, probably, painting models at a folding table with our folding go bag.
Lots
Right.
of folding.
It's going to be hard to, like, sit and paint.
Did you see this?
I didn't even think about that.
This
You
oils?
gotta get up and walk around.
Yeah, it's gonna
a
suck.
lot.
You see this oil stuff that
Yeah.
Jordan did on you?
Yeah, that was all done with the brown,
Sneak
the petroleum
peek
brown.
to our next short.
It looks fan-freaking-tastic.
It's super cool.
Petroleum brown, amazing effect paint, just like the
Yeah.
crimson for the blood.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, that looks amazing.
I think that's what it was before,
It's very good.
without anything. Now it's dirty.
Other than being sons of Horus, dirty traitors. But, whatever. What am I painting, Slowfuse? Is that a Doom model? This is Asmodan or something like that from Doom? Or not from Doom, from Diablo? I think?
Diablo.
It's some sort of, like, character similar to one of the devils from Diablo. And then this is, I don't know, cool model with too many arms. That's what I'm painting. So we look forward to seeing you. Remember, there won't be any more streams unless Jabe and Jen get a wild hair up their butt while we're gone. So we won't be streaming until next Tuesday because this weekend is Labor Day weekend here in the States, so we do have a holiday that we recognize on Monday. So next stream on the channel will be Tuesday at our normal time of 2 p.m. Pacific, and it will go to 5. Remember that we do stream 5 days a week under normal circumstances. We do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday like today from noon to 2 p.m. If you're new around here, please hit that follow button. We'd love to see you back. Lots of conversating to do with all of our paints and painting and hobby supplies and fart jokes and anything else we can come up with. So have a wonderful time. We won't see you through the weekend, so I hope you have a good one there too. Stick around. We're going to find somebody to raid, so show love in the channel we end up, and we will catch you on the flip side. Adios, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye,
We're
everybody.
out of here.